making black rice and barley porridge with Chinese yam. This is a really healthy porridge that could be eaten as a meal or as a dessert when coconut milk and fresh fruits are added to it. This is very simple to make. Even though it takes a long time to cook, the things that you actually have to do are pretty simple. So let's get started. Porridge is a very popular food in China because everything is cooked in it and it's really easy to digest, so it's very good for the body. It's kind of like a smoothie. So the ingredients that we're using today are also very healthy. We're going to be using some organic black rice, and this takes a very long time to cook. So before it is cooked, it has to be soaked in water overnight once it is washed. I have already prepared some that I have soaked overnight. Once the black rice is soaked, it is going to look more like a purple color instead of a black, and it's also going to dye the water. So this is why you really want to make sure you washed it, because we're going to be using this water inside of the porridge. This is why in China this is called purple rice instead of black rice. The next ingredient we're using are some barley. Barley is also a very healthy ingredient, but again, it is very hard for it to boil. It's going to take a very long time for it to become soft. So a little trick we're going to be using is after it is washed, we're going to add a little bit of water inside of it to keep its moisture, and then we're going to freeze it in the freezer overnight. Because barley has a lot of cornstarch inside of it, and freezing it is going to make it a lot easier to cook. It would soften and it's going to taste really nice. The barley and the black rice does take the most time for it to prepare, so you want to make sure you do it ahead of time at the same time, so while you're soaking the black rice, you could freeze the barley. I froze the barley in a plastic box, but you could also do it in a gallon-sized Ziploc bag. So you can see this is really hard now. It is completely frozen. And to defrost it, just pour in some tap water. You can see it is already starting to defrost. Next, we have some pitted dried dates. So you just want to make sure you wash this until it's nice and clean. Next, we have some dried lotus seeds. So you can see it is very dry. Some of these has a center inside of it, which is extremely bitter. So you want to make sure you get rid of that. But since this is very hard right now, it is difficult to open this up and take out the lotus. So we're just going to soak this in some water for it to soften up. I have showed you how to cook these lotus seeds and soften them up instantly in my white funky soup video, but since today we're going to be cooking this for 1 whole hour, we do not need to soften it up or it's going to break apart because there is a lot of cornstarch in it. So we're just going to cook it the way it is. And now we're going to peel and chop the Chinese yams. So I'm wearing gloves right now because the juices that comes out of the Chinese yam makes your skin really itchy, so you don't want a very itchy hand. So I'm going to be wearing some gloves and I'm going to peel it with a vegetable peeler. You can see there are these white sticky liquid. This is what's going to make your skin really itchy. So make sure you're wearing gloves. The lotus seeds has been soaking for a few minutes. It is now nice and soft. So we could open it up nice and easily and take out that bitter center. The ingredients are ready, so now we could start to cook it. I have a pot here, and I'm using a stainless steel pot because the black rice is going to dye whatever pot that is white. I have a Dutch oven, and if I'm using that, the inside of the pot is going to turn black. So if you don't mind your white pot turning black, you could use a pot that has a white inside. But from my own experience, the black is extremely hard to wash out from the white pot, so I suggest you to use a stainless steel pot. Now we can start to cook the porridge. First, I'm going to pour in the black rice. Since the black rice has already been washed before it is soaked, I'm going to pour the water along with it because it is supposed to be clean enough. Next, I'm pouring in the barley, and I'm using the same amount of barley and black rice today. Next, add in the dried dates, the lotus seeds, Chinese yam. Next, we're going to be adding in the water. So the water should be twice as much as the ingredients itself. That's going to make a pretty thick porridge. So if you like a little more soupy porridge, then you can add more. Now we could get it on the stove. We're going to cook this on high heat until it starts to boil. This has come to a boil. It's been cooking on high heat for around 10 minutes. So now we're going to put the lid back on. Turn it down to medium-low heat and cook this for about an hour. Make sure to check it once in a while to make sure it's not overflowing, and also stir it occasionally so these ingredients don't stick together. While the porridge is cooking, we're going to prepare the rest of the ingredients. So first, I'm going to soak the goji berries for around 2 minutes in tap water, and then I'm going to wash it. Do not add in the goji berries in the very beginning of when the porridge starts to cook, because the goji berries cook very quickly and it might lose lots of its nutrition if it's cooked too long. So we're going to add this in just right before it is done. And now we're going to dice up the mangoes into small cubes. The porridge has been cooking for 1 hour after it started to boil, so now we're going to add in the goji berries, salt, and the brown sugar. Now when it comes to desserts, salt is a very important ingredient. This is only a pinch of salt, but it's going to bring out the sugar flavor so much more. For example, if I add in 1 tablespoon of sugar and add a little bit of salt, it's going to taste like 2 tablespoons of sugar. So this way it's going to taste the same, but it's going to be a lot healthier because you're not going to need as much sugar. Now I'm going to give it a stir. You want that sugar to be evenly distributed throughout the porridge. Now we're going to cook this on medium heat for another minute. The porridge is now cooked. You can eat it the way it is now, but I'm going to take it one step further and pour on some coconut milk and sprinkle on the diced mangoes. So you really want to make sure you're cooking the porridge on medium-low heat with lots of patience because it's going to take quite a bit of time. And make sure you're stirring this occasionally to make sure the porridge doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot. If you find the porridge being too thick while it's cooking, you could also add a little bit of water into it. But I made it pretty thick today, so the coconut milk could actually stay on the top. Now again, if you don't like coconut milk, you could leave this step out, just eat it the way it is. That's how you make black rice and barley with Chinese yam porridge. This is a very healthy porridge that could be eaten as an everyday food for a meal or a dessert. You can change up the amount of sweetness according to your personal preference by adding more or less sugar, and you can also change up the consistency of the porridge by adding more water. So, I really hope you can try this out. It is a very healthy porridge. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye!